In today's episode of the Hexagon Challenge, we finished our time at Atletico Nacional. We are in the second phase final, and it's against our former team, Cucuta Deportivo. It's a fitting way to farewell the club and our time in South America. We're also going to do the end of season review should it come up. We'll do a squad review, and then we will resign from our job and see if we can predict where we will end up next. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. If you are new to the channel or have not done so already, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on. It is greatly appreciated and it will probably be important for the next episode as well because there might be a gap. We'll get into that shortly. If you have not watched yesterday's episode, it was episode 52. It was the Copa Libertadores final. Then go and watch it. We've probably spoiled what happened in the intro, but go back and watch it. I'm giving you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We won the bloody thing. So we're not going to spend any more time at Atletico Nacional past this season. We've only got 2 games left. We played through the semi-final group stage of Colombia. Before we get into today's episode, we made the final very easily. We won our first 5 games. If we go to the schedule, we can show you guys. Either side of that Copa Libertadores final, 2 good wins over Independiente Santa Fe and Deportivo Cali, which is so typical because a couple of episodes ago we lost the Copa Colombia final to them on penalties, and then we bet Barranquilla to confirm qualification, put out a rotated side in the final group stage game when we were already through as were Cucuta Deportivo at that stage, and we didn't play very well, but lots of those players aren't playing today, so it should be okay. We'll get the games done first and then we'll do a squad rundown, go through everyone's profile. This is a squad, as I said. We're going to put the save file in the description down below if you want to carry on the save. If you like a dynasty kind of save, this team is just set up for you guys so well if you want to do that. It's probably the one where if you're going to jump in and go at everything, we're already in the Copa Libertadores next season. We're in a really good spot if you want to get into a save with lots of football, lots of promising players. This is the one. So it's down below if you guys want to get involved in that. But we'll start off with these games and then we'll do that end of season stuff, and we'll also resign from the job and see what jobs are available to us. It is Easter weekend coming up, so it's going to come at quite a good time for me to maybe take my time and find a good job. But we'll see how we go either way because it's a long weekend. The next video probably won't be for a couple of days. There's more people around the house I'm in when it's a long weekend, so it's more difficult for me to record stuff. So bear that in mind. If there's no video on the channel for 3 or 4 days, it's because it's Easter and there'd be people yelling at me, stop talking, Shaun, what are you on about? So we're going to get into the first leg of this final against Cucuta Deportivo, our former team, the team that we joined after winning the OFC Champions League at Hamilton Wanderers. So it's a very fitting farewell. We'll see some former players from there. It's going to be a Colombian memory lane episode, it feels like this, and we will get into things. That's TV coverage, so we'll come back when that starts for the first leg of the second phase season final. And the TV coverage starts. Cucuta Deportivo at home first. Some very familiar names: Besosi, Venegas, Ulego, Marulanda, Caicedo. Those were the ones I saw. We'll see how we get on once we see the full team. Our team, as you would expect, Wormsley in over Oscar at the moment. Duran came back immediately after the Copa Libertadores final and has been sensational. So we're hoping that he can keep his form up on camera. I will pause the game quickly and just see if we can have a quick look somewhere at Cucuta Deportivo. So we got up to the midfield. They've still got Cuernu, Martinez, Edmonds, Green and Roman in defence and Salas at the back. So it still has very much my stamp on that team. Barrios, the only player in there who I don't really recognise, but the rest of them is the team that I built there last season. So this is going to be very interesting. And we are kicking off playing right to left in our white with the green stripe down the middle. Cucuta Deportivo in their home uniform as well, the red and black with the white shorts. They turned the ball over early and Besosi is trying to get us early here. We have beaten them twice this season, fairly comfortably both times. Plata with a tackle there. Perez. And it will be a corner. Plata was one of their players, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, Plata's on the bench. I'm having a shocker early on here. It is 0 after 2 minutes anyway, although we do now have a throw in. Guzman will put it in. Gutierrez can't get on the end of it now. Boyer down to Guzman. He puts the ball across to Wormsley. It is going to fall outside the box. He puts another one for Gutierrez. Here's a shot. It's wide. It was a good chance, albeit there was a defender probably in the way of where he wanted to put that one into, and it remains 0 after 8 minutes. Cucuta Deportivo having a little attack there in the 12th minute, but we've taken the ball off them, and Wormsley gives it to Guzman, who might return the favour soon, although he's having a nice run down the left as our left back. He puts it across for Boyer, back to Zulu, Perlaza, that young midfield who would have been a lot of fun for years to come, but we don't have to worry about that now after what happened in the last episode, winning the Copa Libertadores. Zulu again with the ball, Boyer. Up to Gutierrez, Duran, he goes past his man, has a shot, it's in the back of the net, just as I said. He has been sensational since coming back from injury. If he was in the Copa Libertadores, we might have won it even more comfortably. He has been so good for us since coming back. Here's Duran, a player who does have some big clubs after him. He fires that. Salah should really be doing better there. It's beat him near post, albeit it went right inside that top corner. And we have a 1-0 lead. It's an away goal, although, as I've said in the past, away goals don't count in the Colombian system, so we don't have to worry about that when we go into the second leg. But it is nice to have an early lead against a team that we do know well, who have improved greatly from the first half of the season. They missed out on the playoffs to Cucuta Deportivo in the first half of the season, but they finished third overall. And now Wormsley makes it 2-0. Oh boy, this is getting a little bit embarrassing early doors. When we have played Cucuta Deportivo so far in the save, it has mostly been with our rotated team just because of where the games have been falling. It's been right at the back end of our season when we've already qualified for the finals, or the semi-final stage, I should say. Nice finish there from Wormsley after Guzman put him through. So this is probably the first chance we've had to put our first team out against them, and it started off very well, 2-0 after 16 minutes. Okay, we're 32 minutes in here, and we have got an apparent injury. Guzman, I've given him about 10 minutes to try and run this off, but even though the injury icon isn't showing up, it does look like he's injured. We'll bring Akasieti on for him, should we be able to, and we are. Had a few issues with that recently, just with too many foreigners in the team, but we'll make that change. Nothing happening since those 2 goals, though. It's 2-0 as we approach half-time. Throw into Atletico Nacional, Zulu to put it in as we are in the 42nd minute, right before half-time. As I said, when we made that change, pretty quiet since that early onslaught from us. Now Zulu holding the ball up, back to Boyer. Can he find a ball? He finds Perez in a lot of space out on the right-hand side, back to Boyer. Zulu, Perlaza, Akasieti off the bench. Gutierrez back to Akasieti. Might be able to play a ball through there for, it might be Wormsley, it is. He has a shot, might have been blocked. No, it wasn't. It just missed going inside the near post, and it looks like that will be it for the first half. Although we do have a highlight right on the brink of half time with 20 seconds left of referee's time. Akasieti gets the ball back from the free kick, back to Zulu, Wormsley. Can we make it free before the half? Boyer out to Perez. Into Duran. Here's a shot. Just wide. And that will be half-time. A very good half from us. I can't remember Cucuta Deportivo having a highlight since the first couple of minutes. And we got 2 goals through Duran and Wormsley. Some really good work from us there. And we have a nice 2-0 lead. A quarter of the way through this tie. We will tell the boys we're very happy with that. We did have to make that one change. So we only have the 2 subs left. But I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Hopefully Guzman isn't out for too long, but either way, Akasieti is a very good replacement. He will do a job for us without a shadow of a doubt. The player we bought him from Municipal in the mid-season transfer window. It will be Cucuta Deportivo kicking off the second half though, and can our former team get a goal back? You'd have to think they would need one in this league. A 2-0 lead going to our home stadium would be quite difficult for them as we get into the second half. Throw into Cucuta Deportivo in the 53rd minute, but I've given it straight to Wormsley, so we have a chance here to get them on a semi-counter attack. Now Wormsley plays it out to Duran, back to Perez, might try and play Duran in here. Gets past his defender, crosses in for good areas. That's 3-0, and it's feeling a bit easy, this. Our first team, as I said, I think this is one of the first times our first team has lined up against Cucuta. As I said, with the way the season has worked and being able to put rotations out against them. But they are clearly showing that they're a class above now. A nice ball from Duran. Salas just had no chance with that finish from Gutierrez into the right-hand side of the net. 3-0 early on the second half of the first leg. Throw into Cucuta Deportivo again. He finds Barrios this time, so they do keep possession on Jlade. Back to Barrios, one of the few players we don't know much about in this team, and he gives the ball away though, and Gutierrez holds it up. Can we make it 4 and almost start the party early? I'd be fairly confident in saying with this team that we have got. Salas, though, we boot the ball to, so maybe Cucuta will get something going here, although they've given it straight to Angel, who heads it down to Zulu, out to Duran. 4-0, and I think they are really in trouble. Walmsley has a shot blocked. Marouane declares not much going on in that highlight, it turned out, and it's still 3-0 as we come into the last half hour. Okay, we're going to make a little bit of a change here. Serna is carrying a yellow card and not actually having a great game, so we're going to bring Ortiz on for him, and that will do for now. Also looking at maybe taking Zulu off at some stage, but we will do that and carry on with the game with another 25 minutes left to go. We do have the ball here as we come up to the 70th minute. Plaza knocks it out to Boya. Perez getting inside the box. Will square that for Duran. His first shot blocked. Perez, his shot blocked. They clear it. Short highlight, but it remains 3-0 as we come near full time here. Throw into Atletico Nacional. We are in the last quarter of an hour. Gutierrez holds it up in the box. Back out to Zulu. Plaza, they play a bit of a 1-2. Zulu puts a ball in. Walmsley was looking like he was going to try and get his head onto it, but it's been cleared by Cucuta. And now it's Akasieti just outside the box. Gets inside the box, but the ball is blocked by Olego. Slide tackle Gutierrez. Heads down to Duran. What a finish from Duran. Nice play from Gutierrez. Those two combining exceedingly well. This is, as I said earlier, it's feeling a bit easy. 4-0 late in the first leg. We're still going to take these guys home for the second. It looks like we will. Well, we should, unless we have an absolute capitulation. That's a lovely finish from Duran, isn't it? But we should be making it 4 trophies out of 5 for the season, which is a nice way to end our time, as Basozi with a free kick there for Cucuta, and it's headed clear. Nothing happening there. We're in the last 10 minutes. We'll see if we need to make a sub. I'll wait to see who the first player with a red heart is. But 4-0 as we come in the last 10 minutes of this first league. Corner to Atletico Nacional. We're in the last 5 minutes. Boya whips it in. No one can get their head to it for us. And it's out to Quernu, a left back who did a pretty good job for us last season. Akasieti gets his clearance though, and it's now up to Walmsley. Puts a ball in trying to find Gutierrez, but Edmonds Green cuts it out. Meza though will pump it straight to Angel. You think this team that we're coming up against would be very used to this tactic that we're putting out, because it hasn't changed since last season, but they are struggling. Walmsley with a great chance there, but he puts it wide. Looked like Salas was rooted to the spot, but it remains 4-0. We will make a quick change if we have time. Don't know if there's much point, but we'll take Zulu off. Recent form, not great if we're going to be honest, but he is a player who is so good at long shots. I was really hyped when I signed him for the price that we got him for. He delivered for a little while, maybe not so much lately, but he's done a pretty good job for us. He will be a player to keep an eye out on, maybe one that we can bring with us to our next job. It might be a bit difficult if we go to Africa to try and get him back home, but we'll see how we get on now. Bui Chago knocks that back, and we go into the second leg with a 4-0 lead, and that should be enough, you'd think. Williams Duran with 2 goals. He also set one up, I'm pretty sure. He had a blinder, our front three getting the goals between them. A very, very good performance, and we go into the second leg. We're leaving Cucuta Deportivo, our former team, with a big mountain to climb. We won't muck around too much because it's a big episode. We will come back when that second leg gets underway. And we are here for this home league. We are putting out the exact same team as we did in the first league. No changes needed. Don't need to worry about those yellow cards, of course. Our last game in charge of the team, and Cucuta Deportivo also looking pretty similar. Gomez on the right there, on the right wing might be a change, but it's a fairly similar lineup for them as well, and we hold a good 4-0 lead as we're kicking off playing left to right. Our last match in charge even if we don't get the job done, which would be disappointing, but we should be lifting a trophy anyway. A 4-goal deficit. Very hard to see Cucuta Deportivo turning that around against the Copa Libertadores champions, which still doesn't feel quite real to say. As I said in some of those episodes in the Copa, I felt that this team was one for the future. It might take a few years maybe to get into a position to actually win that as Boya blasts one wide, but we got the job done this season, which was brilliant. And after this game, we will move on once the end of season review takes place, as long as it does within a fairly short period of time. If it takes a couple of weeks, then I won't bother hanging around for that, but I do want to see who gets the likes of player of the season, goal of the season. A nice ball there for Walmsley, a good save though from Salas. Looks like he's up for this one a bit more than he was in the first league, only in the 3rd minute, but we're creating some good early chances. Boyle with the corner, and Hal gets his head on it, but it's over the bar, and it remains 0-0 early on in the 2nd league. Throw in to Atletico Nacional, straight to Edmonds Green from Guzman it was though. And they play it around the back. Edmonds Green is going to put that back to Salas, who just takes his time on the ball. Dinks one long, but Perez cuts it out. Duran able to get on the end of it. Boya over to Perez. We get something going here, it looks like. Duran going in the box. His cross blocked. It goes out to Perez, though. He'll put it back into Duran. Zulu with a shot that is blocked. And it's being cleared out to Angel. The highlight continues. Playing it up to Duran, who, as I've said, and as he showed in that last game, superb since coming back into the team. And we do earn a corner as his cross yet again is blocked. As we approach the 10-minute mark, Boya will whip this one in. And it is cleared back out to Boya. Looked like Edmonds Green might go on the end of that. Long ball, it's bounced. Zulu to pick this one up. Puts it back in. Meza clears it. Perlaza beats Gomez to it. Back to Guzman. It's a very long highlight and nothing happened in the end. It's still 0-0 after about 15 minutes. Throw in to Atletico Nacional. Guzman, yet again his long throw cut out by a Cucuta Deportivo player, this time Meza. Although they knock it around with Zulu does Guzman. And we hold possession. Those two having a bit of a keepsy battle. And now Guzman gets it back from Walmsley, puts it back in. Boya with a long shot. Good save from Salas. Not the most powerful effort I've seen from outside the box from our boys, but it was on target. But Salas does well to save it. It remains 1-0 for now. Unfortunately, we can't do anything from the corner, although Walmsley will pick up the clearance, sneaking his way into the box. Puts a ball across, but is blocked again, and it will go out for another corner. We're camping down their end, but not able to put anything in the back of the net as yet. But Boy will put this corner in, and Barrios clears it out to Walmsley. And we look to have yet another attack, it would seem. Puts this one in, nearly finds Duran. Though that header by Perez will find Duran. Can he put something in here? It's a tackle. It is not a penalty. It looked pretty clean to be fair. Cleared out to Angel. Still no goals. 0-0 on the day after 25 minutes, but 4-0 on aggregate. Throw into Atletico Nacional. This time Guzman, I was going to say he finds Gutierrez, but it was cut out yet again. Although we do get possession back. Duran just outside the box. He sneaks his way in. Another effort from him is blocked. Goes back out to Perez into Duran yet again. Another block on Duran. They're certainly man-marking him, it would appear. And Perez has his cross blocked. I mean, it can't be too disappointing because with this 4-0 lead, it's not really hurting us. But we are camping down the end, just not getting anything on target that would reflect how we're playing. Now, Zulu's put that in the back of the net. We'll have to check because it hasn't come up as a goal immediately, and it might have been that Gutierrez was interfering with the goalkeeper there. It looks like that's what's going to be the decision, and it is Gutierrez offside. Has cost Zulu his goal there. Nice long shot from him. See the header from Walmsley down to Zulu. Gutierrez, tell you what, a little bit harsh. I've seen worse than that not given in this season that I've been here at Atletico Nacional. Get it out, Shaun. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world when you're 4-0 up, is it? So we do have possession with 32 minutes gone. Can we get a legitimate goal? Not with shots like that, Boya. It's still 0-0 as we come into the last 15 minutes of the first half. Free kick to Cucuta Deportivo. They whip it in. Martinez with a header. Jose Martinez gets one back. A player who we did bring in at Cucuta Deportivo last season. I thought then a very promising centre-back. Cerner has certainly put him in his place in terms of sort of wonder kid quality, but Cucuta Deportivo picked up a lead with their only shot on target as we approach half-time. 4-1, still in a good position as we come close to half-time. And that is half-time. We deserve a lot more than what we're getting out of this particular game. Only the one shot on target for Cucuta Deportivo. In fairness to them, they put it in the back of the net while we had some really good chances, getting a lot of shots blocked and a goal ruled out for offside as well. Not having the rub of the green today, but we still lead 4-1 on aggregate, so it's not the end of the world. We will be able to have a little bit of a go at the boys here. I'll tell them we're not happy with their performance. We might also just change the tactic. A lot of shots getting blocked, so I think, I say change the tactic. We'll change the tempo. I don't really do much tactic changing, as I haven't really needed to at this stage, but we'll do that. We'll see how the bodies are going out there. I'd like to leave as many of these first team players out there as possible for the trophy lift, but we'll see how we get on and we get into the second half. Cucuta Deportivo kicking off and playing left to right with that goal advantage on the day. They need 3 more to take it to extra time or penalties. I'm not too sure. When we had a draw in the Copa Colombia a few episodes ago, it did go straight to penalties, so we'll see how we get on today should it end up that way. Hopefully it doesn't. Now Duran finds Wormsley with a cross there, can't quite put it in that bottom left corner, and it remains 1-0 early in the second half. It's a corner to Atletico Nacional. Boyer's going to take it. It is cleared out by Gomez. We're now in the 60th minute. It's been a pretty dismal game from us, especially in the second half. It's our first highlight since that Wormsley chance. Nothing really. Our chances haven't been great, and the ones we have had have been blocked, apart from that Zulu one, which of course got ruled out for offside. But we look to build with a slightly more patience here after I slowed the tempo down. Perez getting inside the box, puts one across from Gutierrez, and I'm hoping that Gutierrez gets a goal, but he would have been offside there anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. He is after a competition record number of goals if he can get one in this game. Not in the greatest game rating wise, but it's improving, so we'll leave him out there. And it's still 1-0 on the day, but 4-1 on aggregate. Duran now making a good run. He finds Wormsley. He might have a long shot here, but his shot is blocked yet again. They put that out to Gomez, keeps it in, but it is still 1-0 to Cucuta Deportivo. We'll take Zulu off. He is knackered. We'll bring Buitrago on for him, just as Zulu. Yeah, a real player for the future. And we might even change things up at the back. We'll bring a Cassietti on for Guzman as well, because that didn't seem to have too bad an impact last game. We'll make those changes. I'd like to leave the likes of Cerner and Gutierrez on, some real key players for us this season for that trophy lift. But a goal would be nice, although it might be Cucuta Deportivo who get another now because they have a highlight. Although we turn the ball over, Palaza finds Gutierrez back to Buitrago. Can we get them on the counter here and level things up on the day? Wouldn't be that nice to go out on a home defeat, but if we can lift the trophy, I suppose people won't really remember that, will they? Out to Perez. Just sneaking inside the box. Buitrago. Oh, lovely play, but Gutierrez's shot is weak and Salas is able to cover it pretty safely. Still 1-0 down on the day, but only 20 minutes to go, and Cucuta Deportivo need 3 goals to take this to extra time, although they give that to Gutierrez. Right, surely this is his time. No. Oh, maybe I should take him off. Actually, I'll take Wormsley off because he's knackered, but boy, he's lucky. That's a terrible effort from Gutierrez. He did all the hard work after, to be fair, it was somewhat handed on a plate to him by Cucuta Deportivo. We'll bring Oscar on for Wormsley. Oscar, a player who has got a bucket load of goals for us this season, but Wormsley has overtaken him ability-wise late in the season, and we now have a free kick that Duran's going to put in. It hits the post. Oscar taps it away now. Is he offside? That's another question. It might be one of these days today. I'm lucky that it's not happened in a seriously big game. And again, the goal is disallowed. Yeah, we're just not having luck in this game. Thank God we got 4 in the first league. Duran with a wonderful free kick, and indeed Oscar has just gone about a half straight offside, and his goal won't count. Still 1-0 down, but only 14 minutes to go to hold a 3-goal lead overall. And Cucuta Deportivo give the ball to Duran there, and now Oscar with fresh legs gets past the defender. It's a tight angle. It's parried away from Salas, but the ball is cleared from the Cucuta defence, and it's still 1-0 with just over 10 to go. Throw in to Atletico Nacional. We are in the last 10 minutes. Perez is Gonna put this in. He finds Gutierrez. Can we get a goal? Back to Boya. Perez again. Puts one across. Oscar can't get onto it. And Akessieti beats Gomez to the ball, so we do keep possession. Oscar back out to Akessieti in space. He will put that over for Palazza. Boya. Back out to Perez. Can he put this back in the mixer? He puts it across to Duran. Boya, hell of a shot. It's blocked. The second one isn't, no. It's a bit of a scrappy goal, but on the balance of play, I feel we absolutely deserve a goal. We've been so unlucky today. 2 ruled out, multiple block shots. That one, luckily, Salas in goal for Cucuta Deportivo had committed on the first shot, and all Boya really had to do was just tap that away past the defence, and he was able to do that. Salas in no man's land through just a bit of bad luck, really, you'd have to say. And we do equalise. That's not unlucky, though. 1-1 on the day, 5-1 on aggregate. And a throw-in the 86th minute. Can we make it 2-1? Not that it's overly important. We knocked that out back out to Palazza Buichlago. They have a 1-2 now. Perez. Boya, he tried to find the ball cut out, although Angel gets possession straight back for us as they try and boot it long. Once again, Evans Green clearing, but out to Akessieti now. Palazza to Boya. Back out to Oscar, fresh legs, what can he do? Akessieti, he finds in a bit of space on the left. Buichlago, Akessieti, we're just being very patient at the moment. Palazza, Boya, the goal scorer, that's a pretty average effort from Palazza, and it remains 1-0, 1-1 I should say, late in the second half of the second leg. 92nd minute, we're about to hit full time. It's a cross from Oscar that's gone out of play. And it's full time. It's a 1-1 draw, not the greatest result on the day, but that 4-0 first league win, that was the key one, and it means that we are going to lift both of the trophies for the Colombian season, as well as the Community Shield Superliga Bet Play, I believe that was called, and of course the Copa Libertadores last episode. 4 out of 5 trophies, missing out on the Copa Colombia final, but here's Edgalara for the last time at Atletico Nacional. We will stand next to these boys, winning a trophy yet again. 4 out of 5, a very good season. Just a shame that we didn't get the job done in the Copa Colombia final. It would have been absolutely unbelievable, but we can't complain. We've won both stages of the season. A bit unlucky. If there was a team that I was going to lose to in a final, Cucuta Deportivo definitely would have been the option, but we just completely outplayed them in the first league. You look at the stats, we've been completely FM'd in this game. 11 shots on target to their 1. Their 1 shot overall to our 26, and it's a 1-1 draw. They were a lot more clinical than us. We weren't up to the standards of the last game. But, as I said, we did enough in that first league to get the job done, and we were able to pinch an equaliser on the day late as well through Boya. And we'll give our final team talk. We'll say that we're absolutely delighted with the boys, and we will now see if we can find an end of season review. Okay, so we don't season review happening quite like it usually does in game here in Colombia for some reason. Maybe it's the short break in between seasons of about a month, so it doesn't quite click over the same way. But we have got the end of season awards, so we'll run through these quickly, go through the squad, and then I think we'll just resign from the job. In terms of the club awards, Alejandro Gutierrez, absolutely no surprise there, 71% player of the season. Number 20, Gutierrez might be coming on a shirt soon, although I did have a look around this morning and they're very difficult to get Colombian football shirts, so I might be struggling with this one. So that one might be missing from my collection once we get a stream set up going on later this year, hopefully. Hector Boya sneaking into second there. He was very consistent for us. He's got in there as the second vote for Player of the Year. And then Oscar, he also got a hat full of goals, so no real surprise. The goal of the season was Serna against Deportes Tolima. It was a free kick, and look at this one. He just bends it around the wall. It was a lovely goal. We were absolutely humping them at this point too. We ended up winning that game 5-1. A nice goal from the wonder kid, a player that we're definitely going to keep an eye on no matter where we go to next. There's some big clubs sniffing around for him. Leicester are after him, and they've already got Julio Plata from River Plate they picked up mid-season as well. So they're after some Colombian centre-backs, are Leicester, who when I last looked, we're actually top of the Premier League, which was interesting. We also did have a World Cup in the middle of this year. England won it, that's what I'll tell you guys. Signing of the season, Boya, we only spent 4.5 million on him. He is worth, what's he worth now? 3.4, so yeah, pretty good pickup. Of course, a local player, which helps. I would have thought Serna would have been up there, but apparently this guy was up in the mix with player of the season a bit more than Cerna was, so I suppose that's fair. And young player of the season, Gutierrez, he's still only 21 years old. He got a ridiculous amount of goals this year. If we check the stats, we're about to see it. 46 goals across competitions. He's just an absolute freak of a striker. Love the man to death now. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, player of the season. Lara in goal got our highest average rating. Duran, we missed him a little bit, but we did all right without him, to be fair, and he came back and was just in superb touch. 29 assists. And then we have best pass completion, and hell, not the most important stat there, but Gutierrez 16 player of the match awards as well. That is why he has won the overall award for player of the season. We'll just go up a little bit further and we'll see some other awards. Gutierrez got the first division top goal scorer award, and Oscar wasn't far behind him either. In fact, they actually both tied, so it's a bit interesting to see how they figured that one out. Second phase of the season, not so good, but we were heavily focusing on the Copa Libertadores at that stage. Colombian First Division Player of the Year, Gutierrez gets it. Hector Boyer second, so I might be underrating Hector Boyer a bit here, but that's good to see two of our three in the hunt. Gutierrez, Young First Division Player of the Year. We had a clean sweep here. Boyer second and Duran third. I'm actually surprised Duran isn't a bit above Boyer, but yeah, maybe I'm underrating him. We won Colombian First Division Manager of the Year. I think that's only our second managerial award, so that's going to be nice to go in the collection and on the resume. And the Team of the Year for Colombian First Division, Mancia has made it. I have no idea how. He was a mid-season pickup. He actually did play for America de Cali, so that's probably how he's got in there. And he had some games for us in the second half of the season. An interesting decision, but we'll take it. We've got Estupinan on the left wing, Boyer in the midfield. I'm clearly underrating Boyer. And Gutierrez up front, no surprises there. I still thought Cerna was pretty good for us, so I'm a bit surprised that he's not in the defence, as well as Lara in goal. I thought he was actually pretty good for us. And I do have a soft spot for Zulu, but he probably didn't play enough games to get in here. And Duran, I thought, would have been in the mix here as well. But 4 out of the 11, fairly dominant. Not overly, but we were a pretty dominant team. So it's a bit interesting that we don't have a few more players in the mix. So our squad, we will go through position and bring the report up so that you guys can see this. In goal, Lara was the main man for us and did a very good job. We'll have a quick look at him. He conceded, we'll get into yearly stats, that's a bit more like it. 51 games, conceded 37 goals, but 28 clean sheets. Only one player of the game, but I remember that being quite an important one. I think he was superb for us. Young goalkeeper, we nearly bought Sandoval in from Cucuta Deportivo at the start of the year, but he did the job for us. Maybe we'll go through this in pick order instead, because some of those sub-players we won't need to look at. Perez was our right back throughout the year. We bought him in from Independiente Santa Fe, and he did a really good job for us. We spent $5 million on him, well worth the money. 36 appearances, 1 goal, 5 assists, average rating of 7.03, probably the best guide as to how well he did. Kevin Angel was at the club all season. We bought him in permanently from Lille in the mid-season transfer window. He broke into the first team in that part of the season. You can see his stats are broken up because of that fact. So he played 35 games for us, got 4 goals, 1 assist. The overall average rating would, I'd say, be just about, 7.09, something like that. So he was very good for us. Jean Carlos Cerna, the jewel in our crown. We picked him up from Deportes Tolima, the wonder kid. He is going to be such a good player. I'm definitely keeping an eye out for him. Well, I see his media's description is now a powerful centre-back, so maybe the wonder kid status isn't there. If we look at the clubs that want him, 18 clubs, that was up to 30 at one stage, so I've clearly said enough in press conferences to warn them off, but 31 appearances, the 7 average rating, the main thing for him. He had 3 goals, 1 player of the match, 8 million well spent. He's going to go for a lot more than that when he gets sold. Guzman was a mid-season signing. We did sell Arroyo before that. He stepped in for him. 4.5 million is worth now. We spent 8 million on him. Only played that second half of the season, but 18 appearances, 1 goal and 7 assists. Very good for us. In fact, I should be looking down here, shouldn't I? That's a cock-up. 27 overall appearances, 11 assists, 2 cards, 6.90 rating. A very good player. If we go back to Cerner, that might also help with him. If we 46 appearances, 10 goals. He did a good job for us from corners. He actually got a couple of assists too. 7.11, just a beast of a player. I won't go through everyone's overall stats, but from now we will. Perlaza we brought in at the start of the season. He was very good for us. 4.2 he's worth. 8 million we spent on him. 55 appearances over the season. One of those is international. He got 8 goals across the season, 55 appearances, 9 assists. 3 player of the matches, 7.06 overall average rating in the matches he played. He was, again, a very good player from us. Hector Boyer, we've got to have a look at this guy. 3.4 million is what he's worth. We bought him in for 4.5, as we discussed before. Good player. Had a really good season. The average rating, sneaky 5 player of the matches. That's probably why he has done so well. He got 7 goals in 53 appearances, 20 assists, 8 player of the matches overall. So, yeah, he probably does deserve to be second in that fans player of the season, a 7.38 average rating. He's only 21 years old, so another player. I mean, look at the age of this team. They're all under 21 in the first 11, so a seriously fun team for you guys if you want to click down below and download it. Justice Zulu, we only bought this guy in at the halfway mark, 1.5 million, already valued at 2 million. Absolute steal. You look at some of his stats, I think he's going to be world class. We'll see how he gets on, but I think he's going to be great. Obviously, some of the stuff is going to be skewed between clubs. For us anyway, in the league, 15 appearances and 6 goals, 1 player of the match and assist. Darn good player for us. And of course, a couple of international appearances for South Africa as well. A very promising player. Williams Duran missed that Copa Libertadores final, but was superb off the back of it. And pretty good prior as well. 49 appearances, 16 goals, 29 assists, 10 player of the matches, 7.41 average rating. Absolute boss. Love this guy. Great player. And he's only 21. Logan Wormsley is one for the future. He should be taking over that left wing spot from Oscar next season, I would say. 29 appearances. He got 9 goals. 21 of those 29 appearances came off the bench as well. So he didn't get a lot of opportunities, but he took them when we gave them to him. 10 assists, 1 player of the match, and a 6.83 average rating. Good player for us, and will definitely be one for the next couple of years. Alejandro Gutierrez, player of the season, and there's no doubt as to why. 56 games, 46 goals, freakish output. 15 assists, 16 player of the matches, and a 7.52 average rating. What a player. They picked him up last year before we got here for 4.9. He's only worth 2.9 apparently. Stat-wise, doesn't look anything special, but he is so good. I can vouch for him. In terms of the bench, Cassietti, we bought him mid-season. Very good backup. I'm trying to find some players who did have first team minutes. The main one down here is Oscar Estupinan. Was our first choice left winger for most of the season. 51 appearances, 11 off the bench. 39 goals. He was giving Alejandro a real run for his money for a while there. He got 13 penalties as well, so that certainly helped him out. 21 assists. He just contributed all over the place. 6 player of the matches and a 7.21 average rating. And the rest of the squad, they all did a good job for us when we needed them for the most part. A few older bodies in here, but they were just with squad depth, like sort of Aguirre, Guilherme, who probably wasn't as good as we thought he would be. Murillo, we bought in early on in the season. He didn't get a lot of game time. And then some of our really young lads, Alexis Meza was a player who actually joined us in the transfer window that's just opened. So that's one of my parting gifts to the club. We won't go over too many of those signings, but some good young talent, and it's the same in the under-21s. And there's players out on loan too who could definitely come into this first team should they be needed. So it's a really nice squad here. So happy with what we've done here. You look at the ages, and hopefully you guys can see why I thought it would take a bit longer to get to that Copa Libertadores than it did, but so happy we did it first year. And now we will move on to new pastures. We'll just have a quick look at our profile before we do resign. It has not gone up actually. It's only still at 70%, and when we resign, that's probably going to take a hit, I think. So not ideal, but a really great season. We won 4 trophies. Superliga Bet Play, the Liga Bet Play, De Mayor Apertura, the Copa Libertadores, of course, and then the Financiación of the league. So we won both league trophies, the Copa Libertadores and the Community Shield Superliga Bet Play thing. A really good season. The only one we missed out on, the Colombian Cup, which we also missed out with at Cucuta Deportivo. Of course, we got knocked out in the semis there and in the final this year. But that is going to be it for our time here. It's time to resign immediately, and we'll see what happens now. We will have, as we look at who's going to get the job, obviously it's going to be a quite prestigious job to get, I imagine, given that we are the defending Copa Libertadores champions. Looks like the other Alianza Lima manager might be coming in from Peru to take over. So that's interesting, and we will go to the job centre and just see if there's anything on here that tickles our fancy. I've tried to actually turn off nations in here before and it doesn't work, so we'll just have to ignore the South American and New Zealand ones for now. Belgium, we're probably not going to do anything there. England, Fulham, not really. Bordeaux, that's a new one. We'll have a quick look there. Wolfsburg was up. Now, where are Bordeaux supposed to finish? They're down here, but PSG in the same league. That doesn't really interest me too much, I'm afraid, so we'll probably leave that one. Wolfsburg, of course, Wolfsburg are in the Bundesliga, Shaun. That's why it was Lille who were also up there, but again, another team who were taking on PSG, so not a lot there. Werder Bremen, that has a bit of interest in me, only because Winton Rufer used to play there as a New Zealander. That's why that one catches my eye, but they're probably not favoured to do much, either Wolfsburg or Werder Bremen, and indeed they are not. Just trying to find one. Yeah, they're in the 100 to 1 sort of odd category, so not really a job that we will be looking at taking. A few in the Netherlands, but not massive teams. There's just nothing coming up in Serie A. Querétaro in Liga MX in Mexico. Of course, that could be an option for the North American Champions League, but I'm pretty sure they aren't really up there as much as their league position would suggest, 14th. So at the moment, we're playing the patience game, I think. Scotland, we probably can't do much with. Ulsan Hyundai in Korea, they have won a Champions League, so but I kind of feel that's a bit of a step down. Look at their profile, the money they've got to spend isn't great. That job's been vacant for a long time, which is another worry. And you look at the K-League, they're sort of third, so not a bad option, but I know it's one of those ones I'm just not entirely sure about. Slightly lower reputation than the club that we were at. I know they have won an AFC Champions League. There's a little bit there that gets me interested, but not a heap, if you know what I mean. So, don't know. Golden Arrows in South Africa. Look, we're waiting for a big team to come up in South Africa if we're going to go there. And the two teams from Liga Santander in Spain, not really big guns. So I think we're just going to wait it out for a few days and just see where we can go. And I'll have something sorted out by the time that the next episode does get released. And just coming out to the insecure job bit that's a bit easier to view than another page. There's not a lot here that immediately interests me, although there's Mancini at Napoli that could take my interest, as could Monaco. Nice. So there's a few jobs here that we might keep an eye out for, but nothing of immediate effect. The Kaiser Chiefs, that'd be a decent option in South Africa, so a bit more out here that might interest me as compared to the current available jobs. We'll just keep going down and see if anything takes our fancy from immediate look, and no, not a lot. So probably early doors, we'll be keeping an eye out for those ones, and we'll see how we get on. Yeah, maybe we'll be heading to Kaiser Chiefs if that comes up. Monaco would be a nice option, and Napoli would definitely be quite cool. I do rate Napoli as a Liverpool fan, having played them a bit in the Champions League over the last few years. That could be an interesting option. So that will do for today. I will actually mention also that I did record a video in between games today to show you. I think if you watch this series, you'll already know how I do things, but it is about resting players so that they don't go off on holiday. So if you're interested in that video, keep an eye on the channel over Easter weekend and it will be dropping. But I think that'll be it for now. Our time at Atletico Nacional is done, and also in South America, we have done 2/6 of the Hexagon Challenge, and when you see me next, we will be at a new club. If you enjoyed today's video where we took on our former team, it worked out quite nicely, didn't it? And we won the second phase season final, then please do leave a thumbs up on the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn that notification bell on if you have not already, so that you are informed when we do find a new club. But until the next time I see you guys in this Hexagon challenge, enjoy the rest of your day and your Easter weekend. Cheers.